if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
According to Barbie, she is the reason people are watching the WNBA. She is the reason that people are paying $16 to watch the Chicago Bravado play the Phoenix Masculines later today. What a matchup! The Bravado, the cap of caps. For the better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star. Some in the media even do investigative journalism and claim that Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA because she leads the league in followers on social media, along with missed layups and a complete lack of athleticism.
One reason why Mr. Dennis Rodman never got the backlash that Miss Angel Reese is getting, because there is no athlete in the history of sports that have come into a professional league and proclaimed themselves to be the best or to be the reason why people are watching this league now. No athlete has ever done that. Not even Caitlin Clark, which we know that is the reason why we watch the WNBA. But you never hear Caitlin Clark say, I am the reason why we are watching the WNBA. LeBron James came into the league. You know what they nicknamed him? They nicknamed him the King. He didn't give himself that nickname. They proclaimed him to be the next one. And what's crazy is in the beginning of LeBron James' career, they said he was too nice. They said he wasn't cocky enough. There's a thing that we love about great athletes. It's called humility. It's a modest or low view of one's importance.
Let's be honest here. Her start to the season has been rougher than a gym floor burn.
Response, and oh, what's this response I get? Let's go through this together like it was in real time. Angel Reese said people watch the WNBA to see her play. Today is a perfect example of why people don't watch the WNBA at all. Okay, so already this is not trending good. Caitlin Clark is out. Angel Reese is playing. Tickets for the game, $3. Okay, that's a joke they run on the Clippers a lot of times. That doesn't really get to me. Angel Reese pulling up the games like it's New York Fashion Week. Oh, this is what she wore to the game. Not mad at that. Everybody has seen Debo Samuel show up to games and play well, and also not play so well. So I'm still a little torn. I don't know what happened. Then I see this, leaving with 4 points and 2 rebounds.
In the modern world of sports, a fascinating new question has emerged. Can you become an icon on influence alone? In an era where a player's social media following can be as valuable as their stat line, and a viral moment can echo louder than a game-winning shot, we've found ourselves at a crossroads. And at the center of that crossroads stands Angel Reese. Her journey in the WNBA has become the ultimate test case for whether hype can outrun reality. And the recent All-Star vote wasn't just a list of names, it was a verdict when Angel Reese entered the WNBA. She wasn't just another rookie, she was a cultural phenomenon. Dubbed the Bayou Barbie, she arrived fresh off a spectacular NCAA championship run, armed with a larger-than-life personality, a portfolio of brand deals, and a built-in rivalry with Caitlin Clark that had captivated the nation. She didn't just join the league. She made an entrance, bringing with her a promise of a new, edgier, and more glamorous era for women's basketball. The expectation wasn't just for her to play. It was for her to take over, and she leaned into that expectation with absolute confidence. Before the season even got into full swing, she delivered the quote that would come to define her rookie campaign. When asked about the new eyes on the league, she famously declared, "The reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too." It was a bold, unapologetic statement. She wasn't just asking for a seat at the table, she was proclaiming that she had built part of it. It was the kind of confidence that fans either love or love to hate, but either way, it set the bar astronomically high. But then, the games began, and the polished narrative of the unstoppable force began to collide with the messy reality of the professional game. The transition to the WNBA is notoriously difficult, and Angel was no exception. The dominance she displayed in college suddenly met its match against bigger, stronger, and faster opponents. Her highlight reels were soon competing with low-light compilations of missed layups, inefficient shooting nights, and defensive rotations that looked a step behind. The story being told by her brand was powerful, but the story being told on the court was far more complicated. The numbers started to paint a picture of a player with one elite skill and several glaring weaknesses. Yes, she was a rebounding machine, immediately establishing herself as one of the best board getters in the league. but her field goal percentage hovered at a number that was alarmingly low for a player who operates almost exclusively in the paint. She was a volume rebounder, but not a volume scorer, and her team often struggled when she was on the floor. It was a puzzling statistical profile for a player being positioned as the next face of the league. Aware of the chatter around her stat line, particularly the criticism that many of her rebounds came from her own missed shots, Reese made a move that was pure 21st century athlete. She filed a trademark for the term mebounds. It was a brilliant, self-aware maneuver to reclaim the narrative, turning a critique into a potential revenue stream. It showed a mastery of branding that few athletes possess, but it also doubled down on her identity, tying her even closer to the very stats her critics were using against her. This all set the stage for the great referendum, the WNBA All-Star vote. In sports, All-Star selections are one of the few truly democratic moments. They are a reflection of what fans, media, and fellow players value. It's where the abstract currency of hype is cashed in for the tangible honor of being named one of the best. With Angel Reese's massive fanbase and non-stop media coverage, many assumed her selection was a foregone conclusion. Then, the first returns came in, and the result was a deafening silence. Angel Reese's name was nowhere to be found. In the top 10, the hype machine, for the first time, had run into a brick wall of data. The fans who vote aren't just casual observers, they're the ones watching League Pass every night. And their ballots sent a clear message: popularity is one thing, but all-star performance is another. The anatomy of the snub is simple: it wasn't about hate, and it wasn't about a lack of name recognition. It was about the incredible depth of talent in the WNBA front court. Players like A'ja Wilson, Alyssa Thomas, and Breanna Stewart weren't just putting up numbers, they were putting up historically efficient numbers while leading their teams to wins. To be an all-star, you have to be better than the best, and while Angel's personality was a list, her performance, by comparison, was still on the developmental track. This brings us to an unwritten rule of athletic stardom, the unspoken pact of humility. Throughout history, the most beloved phenoms have let their game do the talking first. A young LeBron James was nicknamed the King, but he never called himself that. He just went out and proved he deserved the crown. Even Caitlin Clark, the focus of unprecedented attention, has consistently deflected praise back to her team. Reese's approach, proclaiming her impact before it was fully realized on the pro level, disrupted that tradition. It was a move that energized her base but alienated purists who believe that greatness must be earned before it is announced. Even her greatest strength, rebounding, came under scrutiny. While her numbers were undeniable, analysts began to deconstruct them. Was she a dominant force, skillfully carving out space and fighting for every board? Or was she benefiting from a system where she was positioned under the basket, while a high volume of shots, including her own, were being missed? The truth is likely somewhere in the middle, but in the all-star conversation, that nuance gets lost. The perception became that her primary skill wasn't well-rounded enough to overcome her offensive inefficiencies. This created the ultimate style versus substance dilemma off the court. Angel Reese is an undeniable all-star. From the Met Gala to her cutting-edge tunnel fits, she has mastered the art of being a celebrity. She moves the needle, generates headlines, and brings an invaluable level of glamour and attention to the league. But the All-Star Game isn't the Met Gala. It's a showcase of the best basketball players on the planet, and the snub was a stark reminder that, in the eyes of the voters, the on-court substance had not yet caught up to the off-court style. Naturally, the immediate reaction from her supporters was to cry foul, to label the criticism as hate from people who want to see her fail. But that argument crumbles when you look at the facts. This wasn't a personal attack. It was a professional assessment. The voters weren't saying they dislike Angel Reese. They were saying that, based on the first half of the season, her performance didn't meet the incredibly high bar for all-star selection. This puts the WNBA itself in a fascinating and tricky position. The league desperately needs and benefits from the Angel Reese effect. She brings in viewers, clicks, and a level of mainstream buzz that is crucial for growth. But the league also has a duty to protect the integrity of its honors. If all-star nods are given out for popularity over production, the award itself loses its meaning. The league has to walk a tightrope between promoting its most marketable personalities and rewarding its most deserving players. So, Angel Reese finds herself at a profound crossroads. Is this snub the moment the hype bubble bursts? A cautionary tale about a player who believed her own press clippings too soon? Or is it something else entirely? Is it the chip on the shoulder she needs, the fuel for the fire that will drive her to spend the offseason turning her weaknesses into strengths? The wake-up call that transforms her from a celebrity who plays basketball into a basketball player. who happens to be a celebrity. The story of Angel Reese's rookie season is far from over, but the All-Star snub marks the end of the first chapter. It's the moment reality pushed back. Now, how she responds will write the next chapter. If she wants to see her name on that ballot next year, the path is clear. It doesn't involve more brand deals or splashier outfits. It involves countless hours in the gym, perfecting that layup, developing a counter move in the post, and turning potential into undeniable, unstoppable production. The fans have spoken. Now, it's her turn to answer.